Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says achieving a stable economy boils down to good management and a commitment by government to act in the country's best interest. As he delivered part one of his national address titled Mind Your Business, It's Your Business on Sunday night, Dr. Rowley sought to lay on the table the economic standing of Trinidad and Tobago. Janine Brown reports.
In his hour-long Sunday night address, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said one of the first tasks his government had to undertake when it entered office was to drastically reduce high expenditure inherited from the former administration.
We are borrowing, and that's how we got the record budgets of 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. The 5 largest budgets in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Spend all that you earn, borrow more, and spend that too.
With the oil and the gas sector being this country's main revenue earner, Dr. Rowley lamented further that revenue from the energy sector dropped from 17 billion in 2010 to about 1 billion presently. While he said that this is in part due to the drop in the price of oil, he added that the UNC government led by Kamla Persad-Bissessar dug an even bigger hole by offering unreasonable concessions to energy giants operating in Trinidad and Tobago. He said under the former administration it cost 170 million per day to run the country. According to him, that figure has now been reduced to 140 million. Dr. Rowley laid out a list of projects his government has embarked on to improve the standard of living in this country.
With respect to the Port of Spain Hospital, tenders are out. We are removing the old buildings to clear the footprint. We're moving patients. The Cabinet approved some expenditure in St. James to put some patients in St. James Hospital and so on to be able to build. That is on the way. Sandy Grande Hospital, we have quotations in. We are about to go out to tender for that. Dragon Pipeline, the heads of government agreement is in place, the gas price is in place. It is now for us to conclude the pipeline arrangement with Shell and to move forward to constructing a pipeline to link us to the Venezuelan gas fields.
The second part of the Prime Minister's address will air tonight at 8 o'clock right here on TTT. Janine Brown, TTT News.
Minority Leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, is not impressed by the Prime Minister's address on Sunday evening. He says these statistics provided by Dr. Keith Rowley are unfounded. Mr. Duke shares what he would have liked to hear on Sunday.
We would have wanted to hear what he would have done since he entered office and how we can look through his spectacles to see a new world on the horizon. Because that will motivate workers. It will motivate those persons that represent Tobago. It will motivate the entire country, the sick, the lame, those who are working, those who are ruling. It will motivate everyone. But instead, he came and he gave a very sorry speech.
He says the citizens need justice and the government should provide the nation with their needs.
We are minding our business, and our business tells us that when we check the gas tank, Super now is really flying out like Superman. When we check our milk pan, the milk isn't there anymore. When we check the sugar pan, there are plenty of granules but no sugar. We are fed up of a life that does not equate our expectation. We read your manifesto before the election. We voted for you. Now in office, we expect good governance. We expect transparency. We expect accountability.
Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar is refuting Prime Minister Rowley's statements about the state of the Treasury when he took office. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar responded to the first part of the Prime Minister's address to the nation in Couva a short while ago. Ian Weeson reports.
After describing the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, as a crybaby for still blaming the UNC government after 3 years in office, Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar says her government did not leave an empty treasury. She says of the $290 billion they spent in 5 years, we can see where the money went.
We can show what we did with that money. We can show, for example, 102 schools. We can show hospitals. We can show police stations. We can show infrastructural development, roads and bridges and so on. We can show houses that we built.
The opposition leader also called on Dr. Rowley to come forward and prove the claims.
Okay, if your name man, I'm willing to take you on manos y manos in a public debate on all these issues that you have raised in the parliament. One-on-one, I will engage you.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said she will, however, accept blame for bringing the crime rate down to the lowest in 31 years. Ian Wason, TTT News.